my break is over for YouTube for the time being, and I have a new video for you. As you would know by me uploading, a lot of people hate this band. I don't get why. I kind of get why. Well, a lot of people, including the elitists, will jump on the bandwagon of saying that these guys just shred for the hell of it and don't really have an art behind it, and I can confirm that that's not true. And I'm going to rank their albums today, and they're like Sabaton quite a bit. They're kind of like Sabaton for me. It's like I love most of their albums, and the ones that I don't absolutely love, I enjoy. So, as you would know, that these guys have 8 albums, and I have ranked them out of 7. I'm not excluding an album. I have a tie somewhere in the list that I can't decide between 2 albums, and they're 2 big albums that I can't decide between. And let's not stall anymore and just get into it. First, number 7, or my least favorite of the Dragonforce albums, is Ultra Beatdown. Their 2009 one, I think. 2008. 2008. Cool album. Definitely. A lot of people don't like this album. I can probably understand why. For some people, but for me, the track number 3 is definitely the standout. The Reasons to Live. Definitely one of my favorite Dragonforce songs. When they slow that solo down, it is amazing. I don't know what kind of sound that is or what they were going for, but it's unique. It's awesome. And this album also has a lot of unique sounds to it that that I've never heard before in any other album. Heroes of Our Time is a good one to start off with. Great song to start out with. Inside the Winter Storms. And yeah, that's mostly the only standout ones, and the other ones are kind of average and good. And I'll enjoy them when I listen to them. So, I get to number 6. I do not have a copy of number 6. That's the only one I do not have a copy of. And I've been trying to track one down. Probably is easy to find, but I just haven't found it. And that is The Power Within, or their one with the Mark on vocals, the first one. The last one got a 9.1 out of 10, so it's way above average. The Ultra Beatdown is way above average. This one got a 9.3 out of 10, above average again. Holding On. It's a good song. It's a good one to start off with. I just don't feel like it's one of their best. Cry Thunder is one of their best, of course. The rest of the album is kind of like Seasons is great. Die by the Sword's great. It's better than Ultra Beatdown, definitely. It's a better return to. I wouldn't say it was a big experiment per se, but I could see it. I could see when people say this album's kind of an experimental album. And that goes to number 5, or their biggest experimental album. And a lot of people just despise this album, and I don't get why. Reaching Into Infinity, number 5. Got a 10 out of 10. First 10 out of 10. And above all of them, we got a total of 6 10 out of 10s. Let's talk about The Edge of the World. That is a fucking masterpiece. And I'm going to drop an F-bomb here, because I don't have a PG channel. I never have. That is a fucking masterpiece of a song. The guttural vocals are fucking fantastic. Definitely a great experiment to this album. Ashes of the Dawn, a little iffy. I can kind of work with it because it's good. I still like it. But I could see where other people say it's kind of iffy with the vocals, but I think it's fantastic. Judgment Day. That's a great song, by the way. Astral Empire, great fucking song. Curse of Darkness, Strength, no, Silence, Midnight Madness, War, Land of Shattered Dreams, The Edge of the World, like I just mentioned, and Our Final Stand. Just to say, this album is the biggest experiment, and it puts a lot of different forms of metal into one to create a album. This might move up my list in a few years. It might move up my list in a few months. I don't know. I'll probably re-listen to this album a couple more times to get it. But I definitely think this album is better than what people say it is. Definitely. It's very underrated. And that's where we go into number 4. A lot of people put this album at the top of their list. I put it here at number 4, or number 5 if you were like to include the tie in different positions in mine. Sonic Firestorm, their second album. A fantastic album, of course. It's their second release, like I just said. I'm repeating myself for no fucking reason whatsoever. Starts it off with My Spirit Will Go On. There's a few albums that start off with different songs that I think are more fit to start off with than this song. So that's mostly why it's here. 2, Fury of the Storm. Fantastic. I think it was a hidden song on some Guitar Hero. I don't know. I discovered them through the Fire and Flames on Guitar Hero, of course. Fields of Despair, Dawn Over a New World, Above the Winter Moonlight, Soldiers of the Wasteland. I love that song. That is one of my favorite Dragonforce songs ever. It's it's almost 10 minutes, and it's just fantastic. Prepare for War, Once in a Lifetime. This album falls into the what elitists say is it all sounds the same. I could say it has a lot of the same tempos and rhythms to it, but like the chords are completely different, and it's fantastic. They do it completely. It's fantastic. This is a guitarist album, and I'll explain why that is. Guitar, I consider like what the best part of albums are is the kind of album they are, and that's a guitarist album because of how much crazy guitar work is to it. I just love it. It's fantastic. Number 3 is their first record, Valley of the Damned. I have a special place for this album. I love everything on it. There's nothing bad about it. Invocation of Apocalyptic Evil. I think that's, I'm not too sure, but I think I remember that being a intro. So this one would start out for me on Valley of the Damned. Fantastic song to start an album with. Black Fire, Black Winter Night, Starfire, Disciples of Babylon, Revelations, Evening Star, and Heart of a Dragon. A lot of these are very catchy. Definitely like that about this album. It sounds like old classic power metal, like it would be I don't even compare this album to some other bands that I have a very catchy nature. They have a very catchy nature to them. Let's say Blind Guardian, for example. This one is like almost as catchy as Blind Guardian ever was. I like that about this album. I'm closing out of Spotify because I can't remember shit. So, and I don't want to show my Xbox name. That fucking happened before. That fucking happened before and I got flooded. So yeah, that's what I think about this album. It's very catchy, and the solo for Valley of the Damned is fantastic. I love it. Black Winter Night, Black Fire, two of my favorite songs. Yeah, the other half of the album is not as catchy, but is good enough to get a 10 out of 10 and above Firestorm and Reaching into Infinity. Then we go to number 2. My third favorite Dragonforce album ever. And this is the album that I first listened to by Dragonforce, which was Inhuman Rampage. Starts off with Through the Fire and the Flames. If you don't know, that song, it is a legendary song of Guitar Hero. And, yeah. Legendary songs in Guitar Hero. I used to go over to my cousin's house and play Guitar Hero all the time, and this is one of the songs he would fail at. fail at. Of course. 2, Revolution Death Squad. I failed at it too. I admit it. I failed at that song a lot. I thought I was good, then I wasn't really that good when I watched other people play that song. So, I admit it. 2, Revelation Death Squad. 3, Storming the Burning Fields. 4, Operation Grounded Pound. 5, Body Breakdown. 6, Cry for Eternity. Amazing song. 7, Flame of Youth. And 8, Trail of Broken Hearts. And 9, Lost Souls in Endless Time. Is that a bonus track? It is a bonus track. I have a bonus track on here, and I didn't even realize it. Yeah, great, well put together album. The old retro game sounds are completely fantastic on this, and it's more of a guitarist album than the other album, and really you could look at all the instruments on the album and follow the tabs and stuff and see exactly how they play this album, and it is just blows your mind how the hell they can even play this stuff. It's beyond belief. Through the Fire and the Flames is such a great song, but then some of the other songs on the album are just as good, like Cry for Eternity. I think Cry for Eternity is just as good. And that leaves us to number 1, which is a tie. I can't actually figure out which one's my favorite album, because there's 2 of them at the top of the list, and like they're newer albums by them too. Like, one of them is both of them are huge experiments, but not as big of an experiment as Reaching into Infinity. That is just a mind-blowingly fantastic experiment album. Maximum Overload. This one used to be my favorite before the other one came out, the newest one, which is Extreme Power Metal. I would have loved to watch them create this album on Twitch, but I didn't know about it at the time, and I didn't really know about it till it was actually out. And that kind of sucks for me that I didn't really get to see this album being made, per se. Let's talk about this album first, actually. I put this on the end of the year list for best albums of the year. I think it came in like 7th place, I think. It was a fantastic, it was a like top of the list. The first track, Highway to Oblivion, is fantastic. 2, Cosmic Power, The Infinite Shred Machine. This one is a little bit on the it fits. It's what is that word? Oh my god, I just forgot a word. I just forgot a word I was gonna say. I never mind. I can't think of it. It sucks. I can't think of it. Consistent. There we go. Yeah, it's consistent with the other, the rest of the album, definitely. 3, The Last Dragonborn, fantastic song. Skyrim, I played it a little bit. I didn't really play all the way through it. I couldn't really get the time with all the album rankings I do and all the newer albums I listen to. And 4, Heart Demolition, my favorite one on here, definitely. Troopers of the Stars is number 5. I don't know what this one's about, but if I imagine it would probably, I'm not even going to say it because it's probably wrong, and I'm not going to put it out there. Number 6, Razorblade Meltdown, fantastic song. Number 7, Strangers, another one of my favorites off this album. 8, In a Skyforged Dream, fantastic. 9, Remembrance Day, and then 10 is a Celine Dion cover, My Heart Will Go On. Overall, this album is fantastic and is one of the best albums. Definitely between these two are the best And we're now going to focus on Maximum Overload. It starts off with The Game. One of the best songs ever put together by this band at the first track. 2, Tomorrow's Kings, fantastic. No More is at number 3. 4, Three Hammers, which is my favorite Dragonforce song ever. 5, Symphony of the Night, Stumble Over Words. It's a common thing for me. 6, The Sun is Dead. 7, Defenders. 8, Extraction Zone. 9, City of Gold. And then 10, Ring of Fire, the Johnny Crass cover. Fantastic. Fantastic cover. So yeah, the guitar work on this album is fantastic. The thrash metal that they put into this album was... I couldn't believe it the first time I listened to it back in, what was it, 2014? 2014 when I first listened to this album. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that Dragonforce went and actually put some different stuff in their music, and it worked. It blew my mind. It completely blew my mind, and it caused me to want to hear more from Dragonforce down the road. Because I at the point didn't really listen to them for tons of years, and just listened to their one song or 2 songs, The Fury of the Storm. And then I discovered this album, and it completely brought me back into this band. It's always been my favorite album, but then in 2017, when their Reaching Into Infinity album happened, I really didn't like that album at the time, and it was kind of a drawback. And then when Extreme Power Metal came out in 2019, when I was doing my first year of the albums of the year videos or whatever, where I listen to all the albums, like as many as I can find, and then do the thing at the end of the year where I put the best 20 out of them in a video. And Extreme Power Metal got on it, and I love that album. I just completely loved it. So yeah, that's why they're tied. I can't decide between the two. I probably never will be able to decide between the two, and they probably fall on the best albums of all time list, if it was even possible to do that. I don't think I'll ever do that, because I just can't. If I ever try to do it, I'd be lying half the way through it. So that's how I rank Dragonforce. Hope you guys liked it, and sorry for stumbling over words and trying to remember words mid-video, because that's what I do, and everybody hates it, but I just do it anyways, because I don't know. I don't have any editing software. I like to just sit down and talk and rant and do a huge video like this. This is what I do on YouTube. That's what I've been doing for 2 years now. So yeah, don't make any revenue off it, because I don't get many subs, and it's hard. It's hard to do these videos day in and day out. Not day in and day out. I take breaks. I take long breaks, but to sit down and do a video is like, it's hard. And preparing for a video is hard. So if you guys would leave a sub and maybe even like recommend me to some other people, it would be quite appreciated. And I'll see you guys in the next video. I don't know when it'll be. It's pretty tight, my schedule. And I will see you in the next video.